Hey everyone, Sky here to discuss Goosebumps, starring Jack Black, Dylan Minnette, Aldea Rush, Amy Ryan, Ryan Lee, Jillian Bell, Halston Sage, Ken Marino, Timothy Simons, and Amanda Lund, and directed by Rob Letterman. Now, before I get into this movie, let's get into what I remember about the TV show of Goosebumps. And that's not what I'm here to review. I'm here to review the movie starring Jack Black, but I remember having some history when I was a kid seeing the Goosebumps TV show. And I remember it being a little scary for me, but I enjoyed it. And I have seen this movie before, might I add. So, what did I think of it? Let's get into this thing. The score kind of bugged me, but I can forgive it because this is a PG-rated movie, not PG-13, but PG. So I'll give it this. It's fun in a way it kind of bugs me. In Madison, Delaware, Zach, played by Dylan Minnette, and his mom, Gail, played by Amy Ryan, move into town next door to Hannah, played by Aldea Rush, and her father, author of scary stories, R.L. Stine, which we won't find out until later in the film, played by Jack Black, who I always found hilarious in movies like But here, he tries to be serious, but it is fun to watch here. And I do like the characters because they have some arcs. And somewhat, including Aunt Lorraine, played by Jillian Bell, is kind of annoying. And same goes to Champ, played by Ryan Lee. Gil gets a job at Zach's school as the vice principal. And I hate to be brutally honest at that point. She sucks so badly at her job. And that's when we get introduced and annoyed by Champ. And I think he's very annoying throughout the movie. And he has a crush on Taylor, played by Halston Sage, who I've seen in the teenage drama Groundhog Day ripoff called that I liked her in. And I do like this actress, but Champ has a crush on Taylor. Like, by the end of the day, if it weren't for the events of this movie, he'll never get her, ever. Even I wouldn't get her by the end of the day, in my opinion. I think everyone in at the school and the cops are kind of annoying when the cops get called on. The lady trainee cop got on my nerves. But R.L. Stine plays it cool, and I'll give Jack Black some credit for playing it cool to the cops. Zach and Champ break into Stine's house and find some scary stories, and Hannah comes in and Zach accidentally opens a book about the abominable snowman and awakes it, and they follow it to the ice skating arena, and I'm having fun with this sequence and with this movie. Zach knows from his stories that it's R.L. Stine, and I like how dumb he plays with Zach, and he compares him to Stephen King, who's another horror writer, and Stine talks about how much he's a better writer than Stephen King. That's why I have fun with Jack Black in this movie. Stine realizes that one of his stories about a dummy named Slappy, who's also voiced by Jack Black, is brought back to life and brings back a bunch of Stine's books, like a bunch of gnomes, for example, that can be put back together. And that took me back to a movie I really did not like called, and I don't like it here either. Slappy terrorizes the town and the cops don't pay attention to it. Just doesn't make any sense to me until Slappy freezes them. Lorraine runs into a French poodle with a monster face, is just weird looking. They run into the Invisible Boy, who's one of Stine's stories, and throws him out, and they also run into a bug, or should I say a mantis, and crushes Stine's Wagoneer, and they go into the town grocery store where Zach's Aunt Lorraine is the boss, and run into a werewolf. And didn't I see a werewolf recently in Harry Potter? I so did, and it was nice in Harry Potter, and I'm having fun with this movie until Lorraine recklessly drives into the werewolf. Stein and Lorraine stare at each other like they're in love. And I like that Stein is in love with a human. Hannah doesn't count because we learn in the next scene that she's a ghost and has been running away from humans because they think he's a freak and threw things at him when he was younger. And I like that arc from Stein. It's a great arc. I also like how he gets his typewriter and types a story to get all the monsters whom Stein made friends with back into the storybook. I thought it was funny when he says unbelievable when he sees the high school doing a play of The Shining, another one of Stephen King's books. I love how that Champ saves Taylor's life and she hugs him and kisses him. And I thought that was cute while Stein writes the story. Slappy shows up and crushes his fingers, which that's gotta hurt. Stein goes into a school bus and gets everybody out of the school, which is the safe place, and all the monsters follow him, a fake version, until it was a fake out. And Stein, Zach, Hannah, and Champ go to the carnival, and Stein finishes the story and sucks all the monsters in. Or actually, it's Zach who does that, back into the book. Thanks to Zach, and everything is back to normal. Zach and Gail aren't embarrassed of each other anymore. Lorraine and Stein are a couple, and Stein is an English teacher, and Stein writes another book where Hannah comes back to the world, and The Invisible Boy is left for the sequel. I like that it sets up for a sequel, which I'll be getting to next week. Now it's time for the rating. I'll give this movie a 6.1 out of 10. There's problems with this movie, sure, but I had fun with this movie from start to finish. I really enjoy Jack Black in this movie, and I like the characters, and I'm looking forward to next week's movie, despite the absence of Jack Black. So, I would like to thank you guys for joining me, and next week I will be back with Goosebumps sequel, Haunted Halloween. And until next time, let's run away from the monsters.